Chapter 4, Section 3, the transfer of heat. The main question at the top of the page is, how is heat transferred? How is heat transferred? Heat is transferring around you all the time. If it wasn't, nothing would ever change temperature. Heat doesn't transfer randomly. It travels only in one direction, and by three different methods. Heat is transferred from warmer areas to cooler areas by conduction, convection, and radiation. Now, what that means is that whenever something gets colder or warmer, it's happening to the effect that the heat is being lost to a cooler object. So when you put ice into a drink, when you put ice cubes into a warm drink, the ice is not making the water cooler because it's cold. What it's doing is it's absorbing the heat from the water. So the heat is going from the water into the ice, which makes it melt. It only goes in one direction. Heat is transferred from the warmer areas to the cooler areas. Convection. Convection is a type of heat transfer that occurs only in fluids, such as water and air. When air is heated, its particles speed up and move farther apart. This makes the heated air less dense. The heated air rises to float on top of the dense air. Cooler air. Cooler air flows into its place, heats up, and then rises. Previously heated air cools down, sinks, and the cycle repeats. This flow creates a circular motion known as a convection current. Convection currents in air cause wind and weather changes. Now, if you've ever listened to a fireman, they tell you if you have a fire, you are to get down low and crawl. That is because warm air is less dense. It speeds up, the particles get faster and faster, and they rise to the top. If you have a room upstairs, you'll know that a lot of times the upstairs attic and the rooms upstairs will be a lot hotter because the hot air rises. If you ever go to the basement, you know that cool air settles at the bottom. And so what happens, like it says, is as these particles are energized or heated up, they start moving faster and faster. They become less dense. Think of a hot air balloon. When you put hot air in that balloon, it rises. As the air rises away from the heat source, it's going to cool. As it cools, it's going to slow down and it's going to get more dense, which means it's going to fall to the bottom. And so what you have is this circular motion called convection current as hot air rises and cool air goes to the bottom. That is convection. That's what happens a lot in your convection ovens at home. Radiation. Radiation is a transfer of energy by electromagnetic waves. Radiation is the only form of heat transfer that does not require matter. You can feel the radiation from the fire without touching the flames. The sun's energy travels to Earth through 150 million kilometers of space, or of empty space. So when we talk about radiation, this is heat being transferred through these electromagnetic waves. Like I said, the sun is the main source of electromagnetic waves. It contains this energy that we can feel the heat from the sun when it hits our face. You can feel a fire. It does not require you to be touching it. It can travel through other things to get to you. That is radiation. And then conduction. Conduction transfers heat from one particle of matter to another within an object or between two objects. The fast-moving particles in the floor of the oven collide with the slow-moving particles in an uncooked pizza. This causes the pizza particles to move faster, making the pizza hotter. Conduction is going to happen when things are touching. Okay, it is a transfer of heat when things are together. As you can see, the pizza is setting on this hot uh, stone, and so what happens is the heat is transferred from the stone into uh, into the pizza. And the same thing, if you were to put an ice bag on your hand, the that is the ice is now touching your hand. Through conduction, the heat is going to leave your hand and go to the ice, because heat only goes one way. It goes from warm to cold. And so the heat is going to leave your hand and go into the ice, which is going to make your hand cooler. So we have three ways to transfer heat: through convection, which is the rotation, hot to cold; radiation, which is an electromagnetic wave that is transferred through nothing. It doesn't need anything to transfer. And then conduction is only when those things are touching.